Good evening, folks. Sorry I'm running late. Had to do my taxes this evening. Did not realize it was going to take as long as it did. I thought I had plenty of time to get home. Our appointment was at 5 o'clock, and heck, it's almost 8 o'clock. I can't believe it took so long. But I'm here nonetheless. Everybody hear me just fine? I think we should be on and ready to go. Let's see. Open the port up here. I've got to get these names stuffed. Got to finish stuffing the names, and then we will be ready to hit the pavement hard. Let's see who all is in here right now. Let's see, we got Farm Dog. We've got Joe McBride. I don't know if Wanda stuck around, but I'm here for Wanda. There's Adam. Good evening. Well, we're happy because, well, the tax man didn't hit us as hard as we thought they would. So, good to play my part in the further financing of the American way, paying our taxes, being good Americans. Sorry I wasn't able to show up before I did. I'm working on stuff and names right now. I've got everything else done. I just have to get names stuffed. 1946S. Oh my gosh. The reveal for 1939 will be tonight. It's scheduled to go right after this one, I do believe. And, hey, Marshall. And I believe it's scheduled to go right after this one. So that's Corn Roll Hunt number 278. Should be in line right after this one in time. And if it's not, I apologize, but I will be doing it directly after this one this evening. There will be 2 reveals this evening. This one plus the 1939. A couple of really tough rolls. Glad I get to do them on a Friday evening, even though it's not quite the Friday evening I had planned. I'd planned to do them, I think, last week. And it turned out that I wasn't able to get them done last week. But we are going to work on catching up with that problem and taking care of it. Here in the near future, I will not be running as much at auction as I have in the past, because I am realizing that that's a little more than I can get done. So can't bite too big of pieces off anymore. I've got to start taking the pieces as, you know, as they come. Penny Saver Cash Roy Johnson, the rolls from last month. These are the last 2 rolls that I sold a week ago. They were the last 2 reveals I sold a week ago. It's the reveal number 277 and 278. Hey, Rudy. As for other things, I've got a pile of stuff here to get mailed. I'm going to start working on that tomorrow morning. I've got nothing else to do tomorrow morning except start working on these packages. Get as many of these packages out as I can. Hay fever tends to be an issue with me right now because we have a massive Mondo serious case of the pollen out right now. In fact, we just got rain this afternoon and the puddles are yellow. It's that bad. And so we are doing everything we can just to get through that. But I have a lot of packages to start wrapping up tonight and tomorrow morning, and I'm going to get on it. My mail lady is back from vacation, so everything's all back to normal now. And we're going to hit that road hard as soon as I can in the morning. All right, here we go. Here's all the names. All put in the right place so everybody can see what's going on. And here's my roll, 1946S. No idea what's in here. I've not seen any of these coins yet. But that's about to change here in 30 seconds. And for coin number 1 now, DN. Alright, let me get this pulled down and get it in focus. There we go. And to get it started off, here's Deanne's coin. Got a couple of spots on it, but it's, you know, it's a decent VU coin. 63. Nothing doubled on the obverse, nothing doubled on the reverse. So that is Deanne's coin number 1. Hopefully our luck changes quickly. Here's coin number 2, Adam Chambers. And Adam's coin is, it's also not an RPM. Interesting appearance around the eye there. But I do not believe that to be a doubled eye. It looks more like a die scratch. Keep looking here and see what else we run into, if anything. 46S not known to produce a plethora of double die reverses, so we'll probably check the obverses, or the reverses, I'm sorry. We'll probably check the reverses halfway through the roll. And then cut it off from there. So that's coin number 2, Adam Chambers. Now coin number 3 goes to Wanda. And Wanda gets, well, it happens to be another normal. And these are all the trumpet tail S, the large S mint marks. And nothing on the obverse, so let's flip over and take a look at the reverse. Come on. There we go. Trying to get this thing to adjust to my lighting. Okay, got nothing there. That's coin number 3 for Wanda. Now number 4, Mark A. And what do we get here? Well, it's a sans serif mint mark. We've changed mint mark styles. No doubling on the obverse. Move this out just a little bit more. Focus it in a little bit better. There we go. See just a little bit more of the coin at once. There's that crossover that you get to where you're too zoomed in or you're not zoomed in enough. And then there's this one little sweet spot. It's just right. Hey, Sir Gold. We've got Dennis Paulson in. Okay, Penny Saver, I understand what you're talking about now. I have not shipped that out. I'm going to get that shipped out tomorrow is my start date on getting this stuff shipped. I finally got myself to a point where I'm ready to start doing it, and I have it. I actually just need to start printing labels. That's all there is to it. But they will be shipped out in the next few days. Few days meaning it's going to take me that long to get all this stuff shipped. I'm quite far behind. That is an RPM. There's a 1946S RPM right there. It's an East RPM. You can see doubling on the upper serif. And if I flip it around this way, you'll be able to see doubling on the lower serif as well, right there. So there we have it. Alan Hargraves is going to get the first RPM out of this roll. And it's a 46S East, S over S East. And back it back out again. Yeah, let's see what else we get. Nice die scratches running north and south through the face and in front of the bow tie there. Really nice marker for this one. Let me flip it over, check the other side. Come on. My scope doesn't want to adjust quickly to the lighting. Okay, and here we move on. Alan, congratulations, sir. Coin number 5 is the first RPM in the roll. Now, coin number 6, John Brandon Bow. What does John Brandon Bow pull out of here? And it's a normal 46S mint mark. No doubling on the I. No doubling on the obverse at all. And then on the reverse, we see it's a normal reverse. So that's coin number 6 now. Now, coin number 7, Doug Walters. Okay, nothing on the mint mark. Nothing on the I. And the motto shows nothing. Let's take a look on the reverse now. Got nothing. That's number 7. Now for coin number 8, Mike Birchman. And for Mike, we have it kind of almost looks like an RPM, but that's a hit on the back side of the S. We got nothing going on here. No doubling on the obverse. Let's check the reverse real quick. Volume is wrong. Maybe it's because I'm not quite speaking into the mic just right. Let me raise my volume level. Okay, let me check my audio input. Nope, it's correct. The fan, it's going to make some noise, but this is the best I can do for a mic input. I'm sorry my light makes noise, but that's, if we want to use my real microscope, that's the way it is. So, if you guys can hear me just right, let me know that it sounds right. Because I'm not talking through the hollow mic, I know that. I'm talking through the good mic. Oof, this one's got some spots on the reverse. If I turn my head away from the mic, it does sound a little distant, and I apologize for that. This mic may not be especially the right kind of mic for the work I'm doing. Here's Jim Fletcher, because I do have to turn my head a lot. And when I turn my head, it tends to quit trying to pick me up. All right, 710 is well upside down. How you doing, buddy? Going through this here and see if we can find anything on this one. Okay, thanks, Mag Collector. Yep, 44 RPMs for 1946S. That's a lot. All right, that's coin number 9. Now coin number 10. Yeoman. See what Yeoman gets here. Sans serif mint mark. No doubling on it though. Got nothing on the obverse. And Nothing on the reverse. And we'll pop on through to coin number 11 now. DN, coin number 11. And here we go. Well, nothing there. Actually, nothing on the obverse at all. And nothing special on that coin. Now, coin number 12. Coin number 12, Adam Chambers. And we may have something here. It looks like it could be an RPM. Could be. Let me get the coin position so that I can bring it into focus. And yeah, not really seeing much there. I thought I was. But now that I can see it closer, hey Bulldog. Now that I can see it closer, I don't know. No, it's not anything. I thought it was going to be an RPM. Not an RPM. Not a double die obverse either. And I've got my taxes done for this year, so I finally know what the numbers are, and I'm relatively pleased with the numbers to a point where I can function until tomorrow without worrying about where my next meal is going to come from. So I'm good. I'm happy. I'm glad we're good until next April. Here's Marshall. And nothing on this one. On the outburst anyway. Let's take a look at the reverse and see. Nothing there either. This is turning out to be a rather bland roll for a 1946S. Usually these have got some good stuff in them. Haven't seen a whole lot yet out of this one. Here's yo man. Got nothing on the mint mark. I've got nothing on the obverse. Let's check the reverse real quick. We have a partially brown reverse from a fingerprint. Thank you, Larry. And we've got nothing really going on there. So here's coin number 15 now. Coin number 15 is Farm Dog. That's an RPM. I think that's an RPM. Get it positioned here how I need to be able to see it. What am I doing? Where is it? There we go. Gotta stop trying to drive punch drunk on my taxes. There we go. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything there, unfortunately. I thought it was an RPM. No, sir. Not an RPM. unfortunately. Oh, Larry. Larry's the guy that hangs around the mint touching all the coins so that they don't come out nice. He's a little kid with the striped shirt eating the chocolate bar, walking around picking up all the pennies in the mint. He's the one that sticks all the fingerprints on our coins for us. He thinks it's cute. I think it's disgusting. But we've had a talk. He might have stopped by now, but I'll tell you, these rolls dated back in the 40s and 50s. He's been doing this for a long time. Throwing his little fingerprint where he sees fit. One coin here, another coin there. We find Larry's fingerprints on them. Nothing there. Doug Walters now. Doug Walters. Larry's kind of like the Christmas elf. He just keeps hanging around. You find him one year after the next after the next. Except the difference is nobody really wants little Larry around, but he doesn't get that. He just keeps eating his chocolate bars, getting his greasy fingers all over our coins. That's who Larry is. Now number 18, Adam Connor. Nice clean looking coin. Is that a mark on the coin? Yeah, it is. Mark on the coin, unfortunately. Let me check the reverse real quick. Well, these are actually, they came out of the mint, but then they were placed in a wrap, most likely by a bank, and then someone got the wrap and took the wrap apart and put them in a tube. And that's how I got them, in a tube. They're a relatively old tube, but they're still in a tube. So it could be anybody from somebody at the mint to somebody at a bank to a coin dealer or a coin dealer's helper. They got the fingerprints on these. I can guarantee you can run them through the Codex system and they're not going to show up with my fingerprints. Definitely not my fingerprints. Hey, Donna, you ready for lunch tomorrow? That's right, folks. Donna has called with her husband John, decided that we're going to do lunch tomorrow. So they're going to be in town. Small town for them to visit. As long as they're not lurking, lurking me or creeping on me, we can go to dinner. That's right. Hey, John. All right, Doug got a normal plain old coin, unfortunately. Looks like we're getting a lot of those in this roll. That's kind of unusual for a 46S roll. I mean, it's certainly not unheard of, but it's kind of unusual. You want to CSI them? Yeah, well, I've already had them fill out an application, their social security number, their date of birth, next of kin, emergency contact numbers, a negative COVID test. I think this is an RPM. My thinks we are looking at an RPM. I do believe it is possible. It looks like the bottom curve and the upper curve are both a little extra fat. So I'm going to hold this off to the side. I'm going to check it later to be sure one way or another. I've got other lighting I can use on it to see the well, the shape or the doubling in the serifs and the corners and things like that. So I'll hold on to this one just for now. Now we're going on to coin number 21 for John Brandon Bow. John Brandon Bow will pick up this. Oh, I'm too close. Normal 1946 Lincoln cent. Bring it in just a little bit. No eyelid, no doubling in trust, no doubling in liberty. Let's move on over to the other side of the coin and see what's going on there. So you have some examples here and there. You'll see where there are individual letters on one side or the other of the coin that are basically filled in. Then you have this. See how that A in States and the C in America are very weak, but everything else around it is really strong. You've got nice strong outlines and then very weak outlines. This is an effect of die wear. And the reason that those two letters wore more than others is because if you go directly over from the A and the C on the design, you end up with the back of the head, right up in this area. And so what that indicates is that there's been a lot of wear on the obverse die, but the obverse die's design has kind of indirectly transferred over to the reverse. And we get this weird, darker outline of what kind of looks like Lincoln's head upside down. See, there's the top of the head. You come back out, here's the forehead and stuff and such. And that is what causes these letters to become very weak. It's not grease filling the die. It's like this N right here. That's part of the back of the coat. Actually, it's part of the nose. Sorry, that's the front of the coat, the nose. This is the front of the forehead. This is the back of the head, back here. And then down here you run across the shoulder area. So that's what causes that, and it's very common. It happens a lot. It's called indirect design transfer or transference, depending on how you want to say it. It is a very common anomaly that happens, especially on the wheat cent years that are quite heavily used dies that happened in 1946 in San Francisco. And some of them are going to have it a lot worse than others. Once in a while, you'll run into a clash. Really nice clash mark. See, it didn't happen quite as badly with this one, where you can still see the anomaly and still see the effect of the anomaly on the A and the C there. And up here on the top of the N in cent. And then over here on the N of United and the O of. That's just part of what happens when you start wearing out a die making coins. It isn't an error. It isn't anything special. It's just part of the normal wear and tear. It's kind of like you said you had a manufacturer's defect when your bumper gets ripped off your car after 30 years of bad parking. Nope, it's just part of the wear and tear. It's just what you expect to see on a vehicle that old, is that it's had the bumper scraped up a couple of times. That's kind of what happens to the die as it's making coins. It ages in the sense that we're not talking about aging like in wine or like in people where you go by, months and years. We're talking about a situation where the aging occurs over a period of hours. No more than a couple of hours, you can have a big difference in the way a die looks because of the number of coins they're striking. You have to remember these things are striking coins at 2 or 3 per second. It's just like bam, 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 and this is an all-day thing. And they don't switch the dies out until the dies show enough wear that they are satisfied that the die has basically lived through its full lifespan. Having an uneven planchet will cause lettering toward the outside edge of the design to not fill in properly. it won't cause the same effect that I'm showing here. Generally, an uneven strike on a planchet, or a strike that is heavier on one side of the planchet than the other, you'll end up with some slightly weak or almost missing design elements on opposite ends, or actually the exact same spot on flip sides of the coin. We're up to coin number 25 now. Coin 25 is halfway through the roll, so we haven't found anything on the reverses of any of these yet. Of course, we haven't found anything on the obverse except for 2 coins. But I'm going to speed this process up just a little bit from here out, and I'm just going to show the obverses of these coins. I will look at the reverses before I send them home to you to be sure I didn't miss anything. But for brevity's sake and the sake of trying to get through to something that's actually really interesting to look at, we're going to move on a little bit quicker through this half of the roll. That was coin captain, coin number 26. And now coin number 27. Kelly Michaud. I'm not finding much in this roll. Unfortunately, I'm not finding much. Generally, I find more. I can actually show you what an unevenly struck planchet looks like. I'm going to have to dig it out of a roll because I threw it back in the roll. But it was in a... well, that's even if I kept one of them. I think I did. Coin number 28, Jim Fletcher. Here's Jim Fletcher's coin. It's a sans serif 1946 mint mark. This is one of the effects, one of the statistical effects of the different mint mark designs used in 1946. There were 2 common ones and 1 scarce one. The 2 common ones are the 2 that we've seen here so far. You've got the trumpet tail, and then you've got the sans serif. The sans serif is a French word meaning without points. And so you have a serif mint mark and a sans serif mint mark. And then your third type is the scarce ball serif type, and we do not have any ball serifs in this roll. Typically, the ball serifs came as groups because you mint through an entire stack of the dies on all the different machines, and then those coins go into a hopper, which go into bags. And so when you change dies, a lot of times you're also changing the hopper, the bags, and everything else. And it appears as though probably none of the dies striking coins at the time these were struck had the ball serif mint mark on the machine at the time, on the press. I'm noticing that we've got a kind of a funky looking design here. It appears to be struck into the coin somehow. That's a clash with something. Lamination peel, it looks like, as well. I think I'm going to go with the lamination peel. We've also got a lot of weakness on the outside of the right wheat on this one. Hey, Coin Dragon. It's an interesting... it's kind of a weak strike, but it's actually... no, it's actually a grease and grime-filled die. The reason it's a grease-filled die and not a weak strike is because a weak strike would have a lot of weakness in the rim as well. And there's not a lot of weakness in the rim here. It's just weakness on the wheat. On the wheat thins. Cute coin, but doesn't really have a lot of premium value. It is a nice storyteller coin, though. Oops. Get this one out for Sureg. See what Sureg gets. And we do have a toner. It's interesting to get a toner. It's a nice looking toner. It's not an RPM, but it does have some color. Unfortunately, it's a little spotty, but it does have some color. This was one of the roll-in coins, I'm guessing. Yep. Okay. I flip my way through this one. That's coin number 30 for Sureg. Now coin number 31. Coin number 31 for Kelly Michaud. And Kelly will pick up this extravagant little S Mint Mark coin. Now, actually, I see nothing on it that's outside the ordinary, so maybe it's not so extravagant after all. Malcolm McLaughlin, I thought I turned you into a regular member last time. I guess I didn't. Try typing something to me again. Let's see if you turned blue with a wrench. All of my regular viewers are moderators. Please do not use the moderator powers unless instructed to do so. Or if you see someone just coming in here blowing a whole bunch of profanity around, the first one gets to him is the winner. Anybody can kick those people out. Here's Mark A. Coin number 32. Coin number 32, Mark A. And here's what I'm going to do for the last reveal of the day and last reveal of the week. I will bring it up about 10 minutes after I finish this show, whatever time that is. Don't pay attention to the scheduled time. It'll come up and we'll run it about 10 minutes after I get finished with this show. Takes me about 10 minutes to get things finished up and prep up for what I need to prep up for so that we'll be ready to run the next broadcast on time. But what is on time? Well, the time this one ends plus 10 minutes. Thank you, Malcolm. Well, at least I can see that you can speak as one of the members of the group. Welcome to the family, sir. Oops. So I got things I'm moving around on my screen. I moved too much at once. There we go. Okay, now we've got Bill. Bill with coin number 33. Here's coin number 33. Let's see what we got. Well, we do have another one of those RPMs. That's interesting. We've got a second example of the RPM that we found on coin number 5. It's a cute looking RPM. I don't remember specifically having seen it before, but it has a split along the entire upper half of the mint mark. And then you've got that split upper serif, and then there is actually a little bit of doubling on the lower serif as well. It's just hard to see. So we've got a really nice looking repunch mint mark here. Belongs to the same die as coin number 5 in the roll. So I take a quick flip around the rest of the coin, take a look at it. Got a little bit of a stain on the bow tie area, which that's not too unexpected for 1946S. 46S doesn't usually especially come very clean. They come nice and lustrous sometimes, but not very clean. And a higher grade coin can bring some pretty good money, but a 66 isn't going to bring you anything other than the cost of the slab. So you'll actually need a 67 for one of these to really shine brightly for you, and then it's over a $100 coin. And these coins, well, unfortunately, folks, we're not doing a grading seminar here, but these are not exactly what I would want to send in to the grading companies because, well, you're not going to have any profit left when it comes to the cost of the coin plus the cost of grading. The value of the coin is going to be less than the cumulative total of what you've paid for the coins plus the grading fee. So for that matter, you can save your Scooby snacks until we find a good roll for you to go through, and you can start submitting coins out of that. And I'll let you know when I believe we found coins that are actually worth yanking out of a roll and sending in for grading, because I have run into them before, and I probably will again. It's just a matter of time. That was Jeff Dunn, coin number 34. We're going to go on to coin number 35 now. And this is going to be for Marshall. Marshall's in the house this evening. And we have a normal S mint mark. See how the last 2 digits of the date are really weak? Well, there's a few reasons for that, but one of the main reasons for it is that the 19 was in the hub before they ever even bothered putting the 46 part in. So they were actually placed separately. Then your 46 was placed into this hub a little bit later, and so you end up with a 19 that's really strong and a 46 that's weak. Now the mint mark was placed in after all of the date was done, so the mint mark is completely unrelated to the rest of the design. That's why we can have an RPM with no double die or a double die with no RPM. It's because they were not placed into the die at the same time. But the 19 was a part of the original design when they brought it to the press to start working on the die. And then when the die chain was created, they actually hubbed in the 4-6 after the 1-9 was done on the master dies. It's also a very typically a weak date, 1946S, because it tends to have later die-state dies. And we've seen a number of later die-state dies here by that transference stuff that you've got going on in the reverse. See where your U, N, I, and O are weak, and the A and the C are weak? That's part of that transference. That actually outlines his head on the other side of the coin. You can actually see the entire outline of the head very loosely if you follow a big round curve. Well, here, I'll just show you. It just makes it easier. We start right up here, and then this area right up here is going to be the back of the head, and we come up around the top of the head here, and then over here we're going to hit the brow and the nose. And then as we move down, we end up losing things basically, but this is part of it right here. This is the back of the coat. And it rounds all the way around up here and comes up here. And the date, if you could read the date on this coin, on the reverse, the date would be right over in this area. How do I know that? Well, the date's over in this area, and it is over and up just a slight amount from the area where you would see a clash come out. Remember how we see clashes usually come out right in this area? And then we've got other clash right over here in the throat. Well, the clash that's usually over here in the throat would be this edge of the T right over here. And then this over here is going to stick out in front of the date. So your date's going to be right over in this area. Yeah, no, I never met Walter Breen. By the time I got involved in coins, he had already retired to the penitentiary. I never had an opportunity to meet him. I have some friends who did meet him, but not me. Okay, let's see. Joe McBride comes up next. Let's see what Joe has. Well, we have another sans serif mint mark. I'm going to go ahead and try to get this focused in just a little bit better for you. There we go. That should work a little bit better. And moving around the obverse, we don't find what we see. There's a gouge between the E and the T of We Trust. But I'm not seeing anything else on the obverse that makes this anything other than a normal 1946 S. Lincoln cent, other than Larry's fingerprint trying to make a catcher's cage over the president's head. I don't see anything on the reverse either. Relatively clean looking reverse. Pretty nice coin, but Joe McBride's going to get a normal 1946 S. Lincoln cent here. Which, folks, remember, is to be expected. It's expected that we get normal coins. We hope for better. We hope the mint screws up more than they do. But their hope is that they never screw up and we get perfect coins every time. So, actually, the best roll for the mint is a roll we get nothing in. But, of course, that's not our hope. There we go. That's number 37, now 38. 38 will go to Sureg. Let's see what Sureg comes out with. Well, he's going to get one of the sans serif coins. Sans serif without serifs, meaning that the ends of the letter don't have any points. They just come round and stop. Serif is a point on the corner of a letter. It's that fancy script work that you see like on Times New Roman when you bring up your Microsoft Word and just start typing. Those letters have serifs. I tend to like using sans serif fonts that don't have serifs, like the CRH 277 and Yeoman that you see here. That's open sans. This is open sans. And then sans, meaning sans serif. Sans serif is a font style, generally a font family. This is also one of the trumpet tails right here. This is the large with serif mint mark. So there's your two main and most common types of mint marks for 1946S. There's this one and then the sans serif. Do I think they do some errors on purpose? I think that is I think it's a foregone conclusion that some of the errors that are done are ones that would not naturally escape the mint. And so they had to have been clandestinely produced and distributed, because all errors are supposed to be ground up and not made for public consumption. There we go. There's another one of our RPMs. Got a little bit of a doubling on the outside. Here we go, outside of the upper serif, and we've also got some doubling on the left side of the mint mark. There we go. And a little doubling on the bottom serif as well. So this is the third or fourth one of these that we've popped out of this roll so far. And there was one that I missed that I did not pull. So I'm going to have to go back and find it anyway. But this one is definitely one of them as well. And I'm going to pull this one out before I forget to pull it out. Here's the rest of the obverse. Okay, and that's for John Brandon Bow. I can't remember the number. Does anybody remember the number or whose coin it was that I pulled out, or that I did not pull out and say that it was one of the RPMs before? Okay, this was a different RPM altogether. So that's Wanda's coin number 20. There was another coin that I pulled. I don't remember whose it was or what the number was. If you guys can tell me what it was, I'll go back and find it. But it was another one of these. What, trumpet tail RPMs. This one's going to go for Wanda again. This one appears to be a normal one. Got Lucky Larry sign this one for you. The Screw Scent MS67. What are we talking about? Hey, Tim. Got one for Marshall now. This one right here is for Marshall. That looks like another one of my possible RPMs. It's a later die state, really hard to tell from this distance, so I'll get into it with the scope later. I'll pull this one out with the other one that I think could be an RPM. Check the markers on them. See what we can do. Alright, now coin number 43. Yeah, I know. Lucky Larry wouldn't be so lucky if I could smack him in the face first. Not an RPM here. That one's for Mark. Looks like I might be able to get the other show started at 9 o'clock. I don't want to get it started too late. Get it started too late and everybody starts falling asleep on me. I prefer for you guys to be able to watch it. So I'm going to have to exit here. I'm going to have to restart my computer because that's what's causing all that blinking. And my computer resources are starting to run a little low. I'm getting frame rates down to 9. My frame rate should be up around 15. And here's James Worley. And my frame rate every time I move from a darker area to a lighter area jumps way down below 10. Not good. In order to see live streaming motion pictures without any stutter, it has to be 30 frames per second. 29.97 frames per second. It's what your television's shot in. It's what movies are shot in. And you don't see any flicker and jitter on those. This one's for Coin Captain here. And when you get down to 16 frames a second, and you take 16 frames a second and you run it at the speed of 30 frames per second, it will almost double time your film. And that's what the old films from the teens and 20s, the old silent films, when you play them at 29.97, which is current frame rate, it speeds everything up and makes everybody look like clowns. Well, the frame rate on this little guy has gone all the way down to, at times, I'm getting a 7.5 frame rate, 7.0, 5.6, 4.1. So I'm getting very little frame rate time out of this, which means I need to refresh my computer. I need to restart the computer altogether before we come back for the next show, which I'm thinking will be sometime right after 9 o'clock. Here's another sans serif. No serif on this one. What kind of show you going to be doing, Frank? You got some subject in mind? Let us know. Might have to tune you in. If you go over next to CoinDragon's name, there will be 3 little dots. There will be a link to his channel over there. I encourage anyone who wants to go take a look. Smart guy, knows his stuff about coins. Good and friendly guy too, and he's got a sense of humor. He's fun to watch. Aha! Selling a few things. Would those few things be Woodies by chance? I ask with a wink and a smirk. Maybe. You never know what Frank's got up his sleeve. Oh, hey, here we go. Here's another one of those RPMs. It's not as cute as some of the other ones have been, but this one's still one of the RPMs. Right there you can see the doubling on the outside of the upper curve. Should be able to see some doubling on the upper serif if I let go of the coin long enough. Well, maybe or maybe not. I'll throw it on the pile anyway and I'll check it because that outer serif was kind of real thinly doubled. And any amount of die chatter is going to cause that to be shaved right off, and it won't look right. So we'll see if this is. And if it's not, I'll toss it back in the rest of the coins. That's Sureg. There's Sureg for you there. Now, coin number 50, the last coin in the roll. And nobody seems to have remembered the coin that I'm going to be going back and digging for. That was in the middle of the roll somewhere, and it was one of those RPMs. Now I'm going to have to dig back through all of them for it. Okay, so Bill Crescent got himself a sans serif 1946 S Lincoln cent. And that tends to be the tell of the tape for this particular roll. We'll go back and take a look at what we have found with the knowledge that there is one more of these RPMs in this roll than what I have in this stack. Here's the stack to which I am referring. We've got 46, 45 normal coins here, 45 normal ones, and then we've got these. This is going to be the first RPM for the roll. Let me move this stuff over a little bit so I can see what I'm doing here. There we go. We've got coin numbered 49, 40, and number 5. There's one more that goes with this, but I don't remember which coin it was. And then we've got coin number 42 and number 20 for possible RPMs. I'll have to take a look at those. Are you serious? Was it coin number 13? Really? Lucky number 13? I'm going to check coin number 13 just to call you out. It's not coin number 13, bro. Okay, here we go. I got one more show to do. Let's go ahead and get that done so we can give Queen Dragon our undivided attention later on. I may be in bed, but I don't want to take up the entire broadcasting night. All right, so folks, I will go ahead and let you go for now, and I will come back as soon as I can get myself prepared for the next show. Appreciate it. For those of you who won't be back, have a great night. Have a great weekend. For those of you who will be back, I will be back in about 15 minutes. See you then.